Some killers leave fingerprints. Others leave nothing at all. But this one? He leaves something permanent, something carved into the very skin of his victims. Tonight you'll hear the story of the ink killer, a murderer who uses tattoos not just as a signature, but as a message. Stay with me until the end, because the final twist will haunt you long after the story is over. Detective Claire Morrison had seen her share of grisly crime scenes, but this one stopped her cold. The victim lay sprawled across a dingy apartment floor, blood seeping into the carpet. That part wasn't unusual. What chilled her was the ink. Across the victim's forearm was a freshly inked tattoo, a serpent coiled tightly around a dagger. The lines were clean, professional, almost artistic. But the coroner confirmed it hadn't been there yesterday. "Whoever did this tattooed him after he was dead," Claire murmured, crouching beside the body. Her partner, Detective Ruiz, shook his head. "Or worse, before." On the table beside the victim sat a needle gun, ink bottles, and a single piece of paper. A sketch, identical to the tattoo. At the bottom was a message scrawled in red ink. One of many. Claire felt the weight of it. This wasn't a random killing. This was a beginning. 2 days later, the second body surfaced. This time, the victim was a young woman. Her tattoo stretched across her collarbone, an hourglass with blood dripping through the sand. Again, a sketch had been left behind, this one folded neatly inside her pocket. Claire studied it under the sterile glow of the precinct's evidence room. "He's leaving us a signature. Each tattoo means something." Ruiz leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "What do snakes and hourglasses have in common?" She didn't answer. But in the pit of her stomach, she already knew. Time was running out. By the time the third body dropped, the press had their nickname, the Ink Killer. News anchors plastered headlines across the city. "Tattoo murderer strikes again. Police clueless as Ink Killer leaves mark." Claire hated it. Every story made the killer sound clever, like some kind of artist. But maybe that was the point. This third victim bore a tattoo of a raven clutching a key. The design was elaborate, beautiful, and horrifyingly deliberate. Ruiz slammed the case file onto his desk. "We've got nothing. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no forced entry." Claire stared at the sketches, pinned on the corkboard in her office. Serpent. Hourglass. Raven. A sequence. She traced the shapes with her finger, trying to find the connection. Snakes meant deception. Hourglass meant time. Ravens meant secrets. "Not random," she whispered. "A message." That night, she took the sketches home. She spread them across her kitchen table, surrounding herself with ink and shadows. And then she saw it, the initials. Hidden in the designs, barely noticeable unless you were looking. S.H. The same letters repeated in every tattoo. Her heart skipped. A signature within the signature. The next morning, she pulled old police records. Tattoo artists with those initials. Only one name popped, Samuel Hale. A tattooist arrested 5 years ago for illegal body modification, suspected in several disappearances, but never convicted. Released early. Ruiz raised an eyebrow when she showed him the file. "If this guy's our ink killer, why start now?" Claire tapped the file. "Maybe he's finishing what he started." They found Samuel Hale in a rundown shop on the edge of the city. The windows were blacked out. The smell of ink and antiseptic hung in the air. Claire's hand hovered over her gun as they entered. The buzzing of a tattoo machine filled the silence. Samuel looked up from his chair. His arms were covered in swirling tattoos, snakes, birds, skulls. His eyes glimmered with something between madness and pride. "I was wondering when you'd find me," he said calmly. Claire's heart raced. "You're under arrest, Samuel Hale. Step away from the machine." He chuckled, holding up his ink-stained hands. "You don't understand. I'm not killing them. I'm setting them free." Ruiz snapped handcuffs onto him, but Hale didn't resist. He smiled as if he'd already won. Back at the precinct, during interrogation, he spoke in riddles. "The serpent reveals the lies they told. The hourglass shows their wasted time. The raven? Their secrets, locked away forever. Each design is truth in ink. Claire slammed her fist on the table. Why them? Why those victims? Samuel leaned forward, whispering. Because they asked for it. She froze. What do you mean? He smiled wider. My clients. They wanted tattoos that meant something. They came to me. I only gave them permanence. I only finished what they started. Her blood went cold. The names he listed, the victims had all visited his shop months earlier. Each one had chosen the designs themselves. He had simply perfected them. But there was one more sketch in his pocket when he was arrested. Claire pulled it out, her stomach sinking. The tattoo design was different this time. It wasn't a snake. Or an hourglass. Or a raven. It was a rose with thorns, wrapped around a badge. Her badge. Claire looked up at Samuel, his smile burning into her mind. You're next, he whispered. And that was the story of the ink killer. But here's the real question. Do you think Samuel Hale was a cold-blooded murderer, or was he telling the truth when he claimed his victims chose their fate? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your theories. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, subscribe for more chilling crime tales, and ring the bell so you never miss a new one. Until next time, stay safe, and watch your back.